Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. We are going to be taking you through our first ever Blu-ray haul. These are showing some of the pickups we've had over the past few months, and we just wanted to show you them all together, even though we did get some of them quite a while ago, and we really hope you enjoy.
Okay, so the first couple I'm going to show I actually got for my birthday from Sarah's sister, Lou, so thank you, Lou, if you happen to be watching by any chance. The other thing I got for my birthday as well is actually this Creepshow shirt, which is pretty mad, which the movie might make an appearance later on in this haul as well. But yeah.
Spoil it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, first one we got here is 100 Bloody Acres. It's an Australian film, so I'm looking forward to watching it. It's got Angus Sampson, who I know from his role in Fargo. Okay, the next one I have seen, and this is an excellent movie. I'm sure most of you have probably seen this. This is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This was a very pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure how to feel. I like animated film, but I hadn't had any experience with like Marvel, DC sort of animated films, because I know there's a whole market for that. But this one was an excellent film. I've actually been trying to nag Sarah to watch it with me again. And the third film that Lou got me for my birthday is called The Other. This is from the Cinema Cult line that is in Australia. So this is like, from what I understand, it's like a type of twin horror film. So, you know, another one that I can think of is like Blood Rage, where essentially, you know, we don't know who's done what, and there's like ambiguity regarding the circumstances and the crimes and whatnot. I'm looking forward to watching it. It's supposed to be a classic. Okay, so the next one I actually got from a shop called Lawson's Records, which unfortunately, after like decades of being open, has unfortunately shut its doors. I was able to get this film before they closed finally, but this is Darren Aronofsky's Mother. Last time I watched this was when it first released in the cinema, and actually I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was something a bit different.
It was haunting.
Yeah, it was like an interesting take on, like, you know, a biblical story.
I want to rewatch it and sort of get like underneath the skin of the meaning, so to speak. You know what I mean? What it's actually about. It's always been a point of interest. You know, growing up Catholic, all the biblical imagery, like, it always interests me. Okay, first up from me is Zodiac. We got this on the cheap from, I believe, CEX for like, what, $2?
Yeah.
But I really love like the cover, like the letter. It's been a while since I've watched this movie. This is a recent upgrade, The Taking of Deborah Logan. This is one of my favourite found footage horrors. I thought it was terrifying. Matt watched it the other day. Did you like it?
I did, yeah. I would say it's definitely, you know, above average for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I you know, I know a lot of people aren't necessarily big fans of found footage. We both are. This would be one of the ones I would recommend to someone who's not fully into it.
Definitely, yeah. It's not too shaky cam, thank God.
Yeah.
We actually got this a while ago, but my brother and his girlfriend held it hostage for some months. A simple favour. I thought it was a surprisingly good mystery thriller.
I wasn't like the keenest to watch this one. Again, this was another one that was was bought mostly for Sarah's interest, but you know, she asked,
surprised by it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting to. I was going to say you made me watch it with you, and I actually ended up quite enjoying it. It's fun.
Another one that was held hostage, Black Klansman. Really good movie by Spike Lee. Very nerve-wracking to watch. Sorry about the little shift in camera angles. Matt just had to go pick up his brother. But our last Blu-ray, like standard release, is Suspiria.
There are a couple of issues I had with it, but overall I thought, you know, given the original film, it's not a bad remake. There are definitely some huge differences.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good film in its own, if you consider it on its own.
Yeah. So the first steelbook of the day, we have The Witch, directed by Robert Eggers. First saw this when I had a limited run in the cinema in Australia. Took Sarah, my father, and my brother. We quite liked it, actually. It's very, very moody. There's a very cool permeating sense of like dread throughout the film. The next one I have here, this is A Bittersweet Life. I watched this a little while ago, and it's a great movie. So I would say it's definitely top 5 or maybe top 10 like South Korean films that I've watched. Yeah. Good, and I really like this release as well because it's actually got really cheap, and it's actually like a limited edition like digibook sort of thing. All right, so this next one is from 88 Films, and this is Night of the Demons 2. This is a really cool edition. It comes with a slipcover, and it also, because it's the first pressing, it actually comes with a booklet inside. which is really cool. Okay, so next up, I mentioned that this might be making an appearance, which is fitting because, as I said, I've got the Creepshow shirt.
I love that shirt.
Yeah, same. This is Scream Factory's edition of Creepshow, which is... as soon as this was announced, I knew that I needed to have it. I was so excited for this movie. I watched this movie growing up, and it was very creepy, which is fitting. And it's also directed by George A. Romero, who we all know from, don't even need to say Dawn of the Dead and all the rest of them.
Alrighty, so this one is still sealed because we got it recently, but it's a pick up from Zavvi. Jigsaw. This wasn't my favourite installment in the Saw franchise. I'm in love with the Saw franchise. I thought it was fantastic. The first two especially, amazing.
I mean, if you ask most people think the Saw franchise probably should have ended after like the first two couple, but I love all of them.
Oh yeah, they all have their perks.
Yeah.
Okay, and next up we have a digibook of Braveheart. This is like an epic movie. I think we got this for pretty cheap as well from CEX.
We got it for $4.
$4. That is amazing. It's in good nick, and it's just like, an epic of a movie, a must see. We also picked this up from CEX. I think in the same time, same shopping trip. Avatar. All right, and last up for now, we have this Jaws digibook. Yeah. Classic of a movie. Yeah. Everyone knows this movie.
One of Spielberg's best.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, he has so many bangers.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind checking out the sequels, actually, even though I know they're supposed to be terrible. So we're now about to head into the Arrow side of things, which we have a huge chunk of. The next film, also from Arrow Academy, is Gosford Park, which I did watch recently for the first time. This film was actually quite enjoyable. I couldn't believe how many famous actors are in this movie. It's directed by Robert Altman. It came out in I think the early 2000s. Yeah, excellent movie. It's like a really cool portrayal of I think it's set in the 1920s. Set in 1932. Like really interesting portrayal of the class system. The rich but the rich portrayed against the poor. And you get to see you get to meet all these different characters and understand their plights and stuff like that. So it's a really, really interesting film. I quite enjoyed it. I'm sure that Sarah will as well when she gets around to watching it. Next one, another one I've just recently watched, is from Arrow Video now, not Arrow Academy. This is The Villainess, which is a very, very cool South Korean action film. It's sort of... I guess parts of it would be famous for, especially the opening first-person sequence, where she takes on a whole
gang.
whole gang, and she just kills the shit out of them. It's really intense. But there are some things that I didn't like about it, but overall I thought it was quite enjoyable. I thought the story was compelling enough. I think it's worth a look if you're into sort of foreign action films. This next one I haven't gotten around to watching yet, but I can't wait. Especially when I first saw the Arrow announced it, I knew that this would be for me. This is Deadbeat at Dawn, which is pretty much, from what I understand, is a very grimy sort of cult classic. I'm sure this is the type of film that I'm probably going to like, so definitely looking forward to watching that.
So when Matt bought this in the sale, I was really excited because I love this movie. I'd read the novel. The novel's better than the movie, but we won't get into that. Children of Men. This movie is really harrowing, but really beautiful too. I love the concept, the world. It's such a the perfect dystopian story, I think. I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I thought it was really, really charming. It was really good, Elvira.
Yeah.
The character herself, she's so... Oh, what's the word? She's so charismatic, and I thought,
Sassy.
very sassy, yeah. I really love this. It's one of my favourite dark comedies. Heathers. It's iconic, I believe. Have you seen it yet? You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Yeah, you'll love it. I haven't seen a whole lot by Terry Gilliam, but this is a classic by him that I really love. If you haven't seen it, it's a sci-fi movie with Bruce Willis. It has a very convoluted plot, but really worth tuning in for, worth processing, because it's such a good movie. This last one, Matt convinced me to watch. I don't know why I was hesitant to watch it, because I love the guys from Monty Python and I love Jamie Lee Curtis. A Fish Called Wanda. It's got a little slip. This movie was hilarious. I thought John Cleese and Kevin Kline had the perfect chemistry on screen, and Jamie Lee Curtis was gorgeous in it, and she played the ultimate seductress.
This next one is Doom Asylum, which I thought to get based on the Arrow Video podcast, actually. I mean, I like slashers anyway, but listening to the podcast, it was interesting to hear them talk about it. It looks like a so bad it's good kind of movie, which I love. And to put that in perspective, I mean, the first line on the back of the cover is, "If you thought that Sex and the City 2 was a stomach churner, you ain't seen nothing yet." The next one is... I got a sense of this one, actually. I didn't think about that. This was set in the... This came out in the 70s. It's Notorious. It's called... I can't even show any of this, to be honest. It's Caligula. I know it's not really showing much. And the last standard release for Arrow Video we have is Kurt Russell in Dark Blue. I did watch this one. It's set against the backdrop of like the Rodney King riots in the early 90s. So it's like basically a cop drama with that sort of going on in the background, and that sort of scenario sort of shapes the actions of the characters in this. It does have a few other good actors in it, like Scott Speedman, who I know Sarah likes, and Ving Rhames and Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson's really menacing in this movie, actually.
That's
Alistair Moody.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, now we're heading into big box set territory.
Yeah, we've got the big boys coming up. We've got a couple of Arrow Video box sets to go. We've got 5, actually.
Okay, so first up we have Waterworld with Kevin Costner. I remember reading that before this came out, it was expected to be huge, like a huge blockbuster, like among the likes of Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. Okay, no, Lord of the Rings wasn't out by then. But you know what I mean? It was meant to be huge, and they funneled all this money into it, and then apparently it just ended up being a huge flop when it came out. Like, it's still a decent movie. I
actually haven't watched this one before, so I thought this would be probably the best version to get if I wanted to watch it. The edition comes with 3 different cuts of the movie, actually. It comes with the theatrical cut, the TV cut, and the Ulysses cut. But in true Arrow fashion, it also comes with the hard outer case with really great art, a nice high-quality poster, and a booklet with writings on the film. So this next box set we have is actually one of the newer box sets that Arrow has put out. I took a chance on this one because I really like finding out about new foreign directors. The box set is called Blood Hunger, Films of Jose Larraz. And it comes with 3 films, Whirlpool, Vampires, and The Coming of Sin. Obviously, I'm excited to check all of them out, especially after watching the trailers. Some of them look quite bizarre. If you, by any chance, do know Jose Larraz, you'd most likely know him from his work on Vampires, which is probably his most well-known movie.
Vampires with a Y.
Yes, Vampires with a Y, yes. So in these films, as I said, there's 3 films in them, and they came out in 1970, 74, and 78. Really excited to watch this, and obviously it comes with the booklet as well, which is really nice. But yeah, there are various different stories. Probably going to be watching these in the next couple of days, I would say.
Now, this is probably the most hyped release for me by Arrow. This is The Ring, the original Japanese trilogy. The trilogy, I think, is like super strong, especially like the first movie in general is just iconic. I thought it was completely terrifying. And this box set, like, we were really excited for when this came out because it includes all 3 movies and also a booklet companion. And not only does it include that, it also includes the bonus feature Spiral.
Yeah, which is so the original trilogy, it comes with Ring, Ring 2, and Ring 0. The movie Spiral was an original sequel to the first Ring movie, although it wasn't quite as popular. It didn't really hit well with audiences, so they decided to redo the sequel in the form of Ring 2. Really think was awesome of Arrow Video to actually include the forgotten sequel Spiral on this release. So you're essentially getting 4 films, not 3, which is excellent. Do you remember what the first time that you watched these movies?
Oh, I watched them probably 2014, but I watched a really bad copy of it. But watching an actual, like a decent version and sitting down and listening to it, it was actually terrifying.
Yeah, I actually really love all 3 of these movies. Obviously, there are different things about them that I like. The first one's probably my favourite, but I think Ring 2 and even Ring 0 both have a lot of redeeming qualities about them. I quite enjoyed them. One of my dreams for Arrow Video is to release the same sort of box set but for the Grudge movies.
Yes.
Which would be really cool. If by any chance you happen to watch our Arrow Video collection video, which was huge, it was like 50 minutes long, I did mention, I believe at the end, that this was one of the box sets that I was looking out for because I didn't own it at the time, but I'm very happy to own this now. And this is American Horror Project. I got this at an excellent price, especially considering it's now actually, believe, confirmed out of print. The idea behind the American Project series, if you weren't familiar, basically the Arrow Video finds that these horror films that they consider, quite good, but the problem is, at the time, were really hard to see. Like, they were very obscure. There was, like, real big lack of availability for the films. So, like, a lot of people, even if you wanted to watch them, you just couldn't really get to them. So, unfortunately, these suffered in that sense. But thankfully, with new restorations, Arrow Video has brought these and collected them as part of the American Horror Project, as it's so aptly named. Inside, you get Malatesta's Carnival of Blood, The Witch Who Came from the Sea, and The Premonition. All three are movies that I'm very interested in watching. And as usual, you get the booklet that comes with it. The last one for today, and following on from the previous box set, is a very new release, American Horror Project Volume 2. Now, I learnt my lesson from the first one. I wasn't going to let this one go out of print before I bought a copy. Inside of this one, you get 3 films again. You get Dream No Evil, Dark August, and The Child. And looking up these movies, they all look very interesting. In particular, I'm really looking forward to Dark August and The Child, although obviously I will watch all 3. You get some really great features on here. And again, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's so cool that the Arrow Video as a company can pick these movies up out of obscurity and, like, make movies that look as good as these for what they are, and include all these different features.
Them.
Yeah, the features on here are really extensive, and I really enjoy watching them after I've seen the movie. But yeah, very much looking forward to watching these, and as I'm sure Sarah will, I'm going to try and get Sarah to watch them with me as well. But yeah,
I like the idea of I think The Premonition, but
yeah, I think you'd like The Child too. I think that's like the zombie-ish one.
Well, I'm in.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be really good. Thank you very much if you did stick through the whole thing. We realised that there was a lot to show. We did try to cram it in, so hopefully we didn't drone on too much. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'm sure we'll have another video similar to this out very soon. So
we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks very much.